There are some procedures to start with BDC. You have to understand the concept of what is called as a flat file, and you know what is a function module right now. And we have to get into what is a recording first, right? So when you go with the BDC concept, we have to know there are two methods in the BDC concept. Never worry about the method. I'm just going to show you a normal method, which is a session method, to show you how the data transfer is going to work. So in this particular topic, I'll first explain like how we are going to capture what is meant by recording. That's the first thing. So let us take the transaction code XK01. Right, I'm not into the recording mode yet, but let me usually, like before going with BDC, make sure you have some kind of a test data. Just prepare the test data before getting into the recording mode. So click on enter. Yeah, the test data is fine for the first screen. So now I'm going to enter only the very important screens. I'm not going to enter anything else. So only the mandatory fields I'm going to fill on here, and English, and I'm going to click on save. Right, so this is what is a pattern that I'm going to record here, but we are going to follow some kind of a procedure, and at the end of the procedure we would be able to do this particular processing here. All right, so we'll get into the first step of creating the batch data communication, which is in short form called as BDC. So we'll get into the transaction code SHDB. So this is called as a transaction recorder, and it is from here where we usually start all the recording process. So the first step that we have already completed is the basic test data check that is done, and so we know that which transaction code we are going to use and what data you're going to upload. Now BDC is very, very important only when you have a similar data that needs to be pulled into the database, into SAP. It means like, say you have 1,000 records or 10 lakh records, which is filled by the end user, and you want that particular Excel file to be uploaded into SAP's database. So this is what we are going to do now. So I'm going ahead and creating a new recording. So when I hit on new recording creation, the first thing that it's going to ask me is, what is the recording name? So I'm going to fill in the recording name somewhere starting with ZBDC. This is a very important step. So there is a naming standards for creating BDC recording. So it should always begin with ZBDC. And usually it is followed by the transaction code. If you have the same kind of an activity for more than one transaction code, you can just go with underscore in a very clear way. And the next thing that you're going to do is fill in the actual transaction code. So this is the transaction code that I'm going to fill. And I would say, like, as of now, never worry about what is asynchronous, synchronous, or local. So we will keep this as default, and let us get into this particular button called start recording. So once I hit on start recording, what's going to happen, this particular transaction recorder is going to take me to the XK01 screen. So let us see what it's going to do. So I'm going to hit on the start recording screen, and see, it has taken me to the vendor create vendor screen. So as we have already seen, we are going to go with recording one new item. So whatever you're going to type in here is going to be recorded at the backend by the BDC, because you opened the create vendor screen from the BDC screen. So whatever you're going to enter here is going to be recorded here. And so one field I've already captured. The second field that I'm going to enter is the account group, and hit on enter. So the enter key is going to be captured again. Just keep that in mind. And I'm going to enter over here Vishal, VIS, and I'm going to say IN, and I'm going to capture English. Now, after this, I'm going to hit on enter key, but you can directly hit on save as well, because this is everything is going to be captured as a OK code. Now click on OK, and this is the completion of the recording. So you can see this particular message recording complete, transaction has been transferred. Now, usually we have to take a copy of this particular recording because we have to know what fields are there inside your recordings. So let me explain you what we have done so far, and so that would be an easy step for you to understand. So if you remember, the first field that we have entered is this particular field, and its technical name is LIFNR, right? And the second field is account group. Its technical name is KTOKK. And the third field that we have captured is a name. I've entered Vishal, so name one is captured, and the short it's a search term, which is SORTL, and country land one, and language SPRAS. So this is what exactly that we have done here. So now I'm going to hit on save button, and I'm going to go into the next particular screen. Just get back. So automatically you can see that one recording is available here. So now the process of the testing of the transaction code is done very before we have entered into the SHTP transaction. Now the second thing is we have entered into SHTP and we have recorded whatever fields that we want to record. Now the third phase that we are going to see is we are going to write some logics for this particular program, right? So how do we write the logics? So it's very simple. Just select that particular program and you're going to hit on the programs button over here. So this will again contact the ABAP editor, which is SE38. It will ask a program name. So far we have given the BDC name. BDC name and the program name are not the same. So make sure you have a kind of understanding between the BDC name and the program name. These two are two different names. So what I'm going to do is ZBD. I'm going to say XK01 underscore P. This is the program name that I want to create. And what I'm going to do here is transfer from the recording. So my entire idea is I have to give a file and that has to be transferred to it. So the transfer from recording, you will see the change of code. We'll also see the read from file. So don't worry on this particular part. And I'm going to hit on the OK button. So see, it has taken me to a connecting SE38 program. So where I'm going to, it's a usual procedure where I'm going to type in my short title, my BDC program for XK01. So that is my recording. And by default, I've not selected the execution type, executable program type, but by default, it has taken me to this executable program type. And you can see instead of a tick button, there is this source code button available. So I'm going to click on source code and it's going to ask me for a package, and I'm going to store in this local objects itself. So far, we have never ever captured anything inside a package, right? Now you can very well see that a sequence of codes are automatically created for the recording that we have made. So how do I find that? So you can clearly find this is that particular KTOKK, LIFNR, right? So KTOKK, you can find it here and see name one, SORTL, land one, and SPRAS, and all the entries that I have given, right? So this is a very generic program. We have to make this generic program not to behave generally. So because we need this to be a template for our n number of records that we are going to transfer from our Excel sheet. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to declare some values in this. This can be a new kind of a declaration. So data, and I'm going to say begin of iTab. iTab is nothing but an internal table that I'm going to refer. Occurs 0. I'll explain you this, so don't worry. And end of iTab. So in between, I'm gonna put my new declaration. So what is my new declaration? So basically, how do I declare these particular things? So let us not deviate from the actual logic. So what I'm going to do is, like, I'm going to open an SE11 transaction code parallelly, and I'm going to keep my cursor into the data type, and let me go with the first field, which is LIFNR. LIFNR, just click on display. It's going to take me and say like what would be the length of this particular thing, right? So it's 10, but in my program, I have an independence to give any kind of a thing. So I'll give LIFNR in like this. So 016 denotes the number of the length of that particular LIFNR. So KTO-KK, let us find what is KTO-KK. KTO-KK display, you'll find is 4. So I'm gonna leave it as 4, and just go with the next field, which is name1, and find what is name1. It can be anything, so I'm going to just go with just a random thing, 035. And the next thing is SORTL, and SORTL, I think it can be 003, and land1, it's going to be 003 again, because I'm going to denote a country here. And SPRAS, SPRAS, which is a language here. So I'm once again saying 003 here. So now what I have done here. So the thing that I've done here is very simple. I've not declared a work area. I have declared an internal table, and I have initiated that this internal table is going to contain these particular fields. That's it. So this is one way of declaring the internal table, but let me complete it and you can ask n number of questions on this. I'm going to answer that particular question. All right. Now, after the declaration, so we're going to call one particular function module, which is called as a start of selection. So below the start of selection, we are going to call a function module. And how do you call a function module? Just go and click on this pretty printer, and you're going to say upload. The name of the function module that we are calling is called as an upload function module. So I'm going to say, okay, yeah, this is fine. And you can see that a whole big function module has been generated. And in this, you're going to uncomment few things as usual. So I'm going to uncomment the exporting thing, and I'm going to uncomment the file name and the file type. And inside this, it's going to be, okay, let me say C. You can give any locations here, but I'm just giving it as a default C colon. And the type of the file is usually ASCII format. So that is a default file. And now this is a table. I'm going to pass my iTab. This is known to you guys. So I'm going to pass the iTab value. I'm just saving this program as of it now. And now the next thing that you're going to create is you're going to put a loop for the iTab. So this is the logic that needs to be repeated for n number of files. So I'm going to say loop at iTab, and make sure you end the loop before this end loop. Very important. I'm just going only step by step. So there's nothing that I'm doing over here except modifying the standard recording. So how do I do this? So the first thing that I'm going to do, I have to make sure this is not passing this particular value, except it is going to take the value from iTab. So iTab hyphen LIFNR, and I'm going to comment the rest of the lines. Make sure you give a full stop. This is the end of this particular statement. And the next thing that I'm going to do is iTab hyphen KTOKK. And the next one that you're going to do is iTab hyphen name1 and itab hyphen SORTL and itab hyphen land1, and the last thing is itab hyphen SPRAS. So this is what we have done. So we have taken a common recording and we have made this recording to be used as a template for our n number of files from the report, from the flat file that we are going to prepare in some time. All right, now the next thing that we are going to do is like just save this program. We need not lose this program. So let us see. Okay, we luckily have Microsoft Excel. Okay, username. Okay, fine. So now what I'm going to do is very clearly just understand. Okay, don't make changes, man. I'm going to say A0022, and this is a flat file that I'm creating 0003, and okay. And I'm going to say Priya, and I'm going to say PRI. Guys, give me a minute. Right, I'm going to say PRI as a search term, and IN for India, and EN for English. So I'm going to copy this n number of times. Now just change this value. KUM. So this is my basic flat file that I have created, but you have to understand that we have to match this particular code according to our requirement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the entire entries, and I'm going to first of all format it. So how do I format it? Right click and just go to format cell, and I'm going to say as text, click on OK. So this is the first thing that I have to do. The second thing that you have to do is you have to select this particular column, right click, column width. Make sure you match this particular column with the spacing that you have given here. So 0, 1, 6. So it means 16 is what I'm going to give here. 1, 6, and column width. It is going to be, I think for every other program it is 435. Okay. 435, 3, 3, 3. So now I've completed this particular thing. So now what I'm going to do is we are going to save this particular file in the PRN extension. So I'm going to say save as, and this file is going to be BDC test. And let me just go ahead and say this option, formatted text, space delimited. This is the basic format whenever you are creating a flat file. And I'm going to click on save. No. Okay, so this is already there. Can you see with PRN extension? So we are done with our file. So now what I'm going to do is, this file is ready, and let me go ahead and save this program, save it, check it for errors, and activate this particular program and execute this particular program. So now it's going to ask me which mode that you want to go. I'm going with the call transaction mode, and now I'm going with the execute button. Once I click on execute button, the function module upload that we have included in our program is going to make a connection. So you can see these are the two input values that I've already given there, and I'm going to select my file which is available there. So I'm going with the desktop, and let us see where is my file. So not this file. Okay. What I have given. Where is that file? Okay. Okay. So this is my file that I have created, and I'm going to hit on transfer. Hello. Now you can see that this has been created. All the records that I have entered from that particular program is created. Now we'll go ahead and check these entries, whether it is available as it is. So I'm going to open a transaction code /OXK02. And yeah, this is the last value that we have given. So let me go with 7 and click on address, click on enter. So Hari is added. Similarly, we'll go with 2, enter. Priya is added. I'll just go with the middle value, which is 2, 4. Click on enter, and Kumar is also added. So ultimately, we have everything uploaded here. So what we have done here is a complete BDC recording, which uses a call transaction method. Let us not differentiate. I will differentiate between a session method and a call transaction method. Tomorrow we'll see the session method, but this is a default methodology that we usually do for creating a recording. So this is the one part of recording, and you can go any level of, you can increase any level of complexity over here whenever you want. I will show you a scenario after this. Now,